expect you to be so strong. I hereby commit myself to service. You lost, you poor little thing.
Press the attack.
I accept my defeat. Pleased with you.
I'm not through yet.
Perhaps this is my destiny. Very well. I shall serve you.
Press the attack. Calls to me.
That one is sure to cause us more trouble if not stopped immediately. Begin pursuit at once.
Press the attack. Return to nothingness. Press the attack.
I've been looking for someone to please allow me to join you.
Come on, what are you waiting for? Let's get this fight.
I press the attack. Press the attack. Return to nothingness. I press the attack. Return to nothingness.
You are unstoppable. I accept my defeat. Do as you please.
Hey, I'm gonna finish this level and then we'll watch it. Totally not gonna be playing Dynasty Warriors on my other monitor. Full disclosure. Don't expect to be interested in much of anything they announce, but I'm at home. I'm at home, not doing anything. Have Kitty sitting in like 3 hours, so why not? Might have like one game I might be interested in. Possibility.
I have no choice but to go out and fight. Step forward.
Return to nothingness.
I ask that you choose.
You'll soon regret coming out so alone. me to study him.
Probably nothing. It's always a good idea to expect nothing. That way you can't be disappointed. always a good plan. You know, they can talk about like Fortnite collabs or umpteenth Call of Duty reboot in like 10 minutes. You gotta control the hype of these things. I don't even have a PS5 yet anyway, so you know, I can't really get too excited right now anyway.
I press the attack. Return to nothingness. I press the attack.
New gen consoles seem like
Return to nothingness.
nice to have, but there's not really many exclusives for it yet.
I press the attack.
Not really many exclusives for it, so just like the PS4. PS4 was the same way. They had a ton of remasters and ports and stuff, and there were like barely any actual new games. I got my PS4 in 2016. And, like, that was the point where I felt like, okay, now there's an actual reason to have this thing. It's like, I got my PS4 for dirt cheap. I got it used. Things worked fine for the most part. But, like, pretty much everything I wanted to play in the launch window, it still came out on PS3 or PC, so I had no reason to upgrade. The new consoles kind of seem to be like that too. Although the difference about this gen compared to the other one is, last one is, it's basically just a straight upgrade. There's no disadvantage to it. It has full backwards compatibility. The games run better. Some of them are even getting performance patches. So like, that part's nice, but how much value you're going to get out of that depends on if you've already finished all those games. I feel like it's more useful if you have a freaking massive backlog, like PS4 games you never finished or didn't even start. Like, if you're actually pretty diligent about finishing your games, or at least trying them out to the point where you figure out they're not for you and you drop them. Not much reason to have one right now. We're done with it in 2024. I'd sure as hell hope so. Let's go ahead and switch over. You probably missed like 1 minute of talking. Sorry. That took a little longer than I thought. Alright, here we go. Oops, wrong. Refresh this. Hey, what's this? More Resident Evil? Yeah, more Resident Evil. Not enough of that already. Can we have like 1 year? 1 year with no Resident Evil. God, man.
Guess you, me, picked the wrong spot to vacation, eh?
I feel like this game doesn't really need to be remade. It still holds up pretty well. It's like
You will receive our most sacred
one of the games from that era that
It
the
begins.
reason it's aged well is because a lot of the mechanics we take for granted come from that game. I don't really. That's a game I've actually played. I actually played the shit out of that
I could
game.
just forget what happened that
It
night.
doesn't really need a remake.
The pain,
It's already
even for a second.
holds up pretty well.
This time, it can be different. It has to.
Wow, PS5 exclusive for now. I'm sure it'll be on PC. Come on, where's Basara? Tired of Resident Evil.
State of Play returns, and we've got some
I'm
great
tired of
PlayStation
Resident
updates
Evil.
to share with you
How
today.
many zombie
Thanks
outbreaks
to
can they
Capcom
have?
for kicking it off with Resident Evil 4, coming to PS5 with PlayStation VR2 content also in development. Now let's get a sneak peek at 4 games
More
in
Resident
development
Evil,
for
great.
PlayStation VR2.
Announce a port of Basara, please.
Now, let's take a look at him.
Bare minimum. You
Well,
remember that franchise
well,
exists?
Ethan Winters. You escaped my little brother's idiot games, did you? Let's see how special you are.
Yes, Mother. Yes, Mother.
Yeah, RE4 isn't like it's not like Final Fantasy VII, where like that game desperately needs a remake. It's such an influential game, but it was dated looking when it came out. It really was. The little Lego models and stuff. Like that game needs a remake. But like Resident Evil 4 has aged quite well because it already. That game is like the start of like the modern era of like third-person games, pretty much, especially third-person shooters. Like, most of the mechanics we take for granted come from that game. But, like, usually games like that don't need to be remade. A good example of games that need to be remade is stuff like Final Fantasy VII, Tales of Destiny, Tales of Hearts, Tales of Innocence. like those are all games that really need to be remade. It's like they weren't really that great when they came out, and they've only gotten worse over time as games have gotten better. Like RE4, I don't know. I think the game is fine the way it is. Yeah, light side, that's definitely a concern too. It was like, that was the thing about Resident Evil 4, is it was barely any jump scares. It wasn't really a scary game. I can't play horror games myself. I did finish Resident Evil 2 on N64. That's only because that didn't have the tank controls. 4 was like the game that people that didn't like Resident Evil would still play. So, it'd be interesting to see if they keep that design philosophy or if they try to make it into another jump scare horror game for YouTube clickbait. It could go either way, honestly. But the good thing about Resident Evil 4 is the original game has still aged quite well. It's not like Tales of Destiny or Final Fantasy VII, where those games are kind of decrepit feeling and looking, like back when they came out. You can still go and play the old one, even if they screw it up. That's one thing it's got going for it. Like, Tales of Destiny was not really that great when it came out. Like, that game really needed a remake.
There. Where are you taking me? I asked you a question. Everyone says Reyes is a good shot.
Yeah, and I'll put arrows through both of us. You're switching with me.
It's a snap maw. We're not gonna make it.
You know, I'd argue even Ninja Warriors and what's it called? Wild Guns didn't really need a remake either. It's awesome that they got them, but those games were really solid mechanically, even by today's standards. So it didn't need it. It's awesome that it happened, but like those games are pretty fine without it.
Find out why the machines are attacking. Do that, and you shall be a free man. It will take all your wits, your
This
skills,
looks really boring.
and courage.
This looks so boring.
You have walked in the
I'm
shadows,
thrilled.
Reyes. Now it is time to climb into the light.
No, it's not. I'll pass.
Hi, I'm Ben McCaw, Narrative Director at Guerrilla. I hope you enjoyed your first look at Horizon Call of the
No, I
Mountain,
didn't.
coming
I'm not interested at all.
to PlayStation VR 2. We're also
I could
happy to
not
announce
care
that a
less,
big
dude.
update to Horizon Forbidden West, including New Game Plus, will be available to download on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 today. For details on this free update, please check out PlayStation Blog. From all of us at Guerrilla, thank you for your continued support, and please stay tuned for more updates to come.
Get ready, a PlayStation fan favorite is coming to PC.
Epic Game Store. Bloodborne.
These past few years, sacrificing so much and asking for nothing.
If you want to change the world,
Hey, you know what? I'll try
you have
this.
to be the kind of
I will
man
try this.
who can make the
I heard this
hardest
game is something I might like. I'll try
Do we
this
need
game.
two of those?
I heard this game was really good. Like letting you skip the puzzles and shit. That's pretty cool. I never played this one.
You can't just push people around like that.
Just ask for help next time.
Time to bring back the glory days.
Huh. I might check that out.
Clothes on the kitchen floor?
I heard the combat in that game is not terrible. Seemed like people really liked it. Oh man, game of the year right here. This is the game about the stray kitty. Ultimate game right here. Kitty! It looks like one of the kitties I feed, Oliver. Archie, actually. Looks like Archie. He appears on my stream sometimes. Oh man, he can knock the bottles over. This is a ultimate kitty game right here. I would just walk around and just knock things over. So that's like the best part of being a cat. Just piss off people. Just knock stuff over. That looks exactly like Archie. Not actual gameplay. Telling me the kitty can't sit down? I would definitely watch somebody play that. I don't think I'd play it myself, but I am a cat person.
Explore a mysterious cyber city in Stray, coming to PS5 and PS4 July 19th. PlayStation Plus Extra members and higher can download Stray at no extra cost when it launches next month. Up next, 3 games that will get your heart racing.
Take a look outside. Did you know that they call Callisto the Dead Moon? Dead. Just like
oh man, more zombies.
Fished you out of that wreck.
More zombies.
Right there. That's your old life. You gotta let that go. Because your new life is entirely in my hands. I'm just trying to give you a chance at rebirth.
Yeah. I'm mostly hoping for some Star Ocean updates. That's like the main thing.
I just love that last part.
The last couple Star Ocean games have sucked. Tails isn't very good right now either, so
Gives me chills
the ball is in Tri-Ace's court. If they ever have a time to become relevant again, it's now. Tales of Arise sucked. It's like not really a Tales game. The battle system is not good. So if they come out swinging and they have a decent game, I'll definitely play it. Star Ocean really hasn't been good since 3, so it's long overdue. Long overdue.
A new blood sport grips the globe.
No, Final Fantasy and Star Ocean are like...
In the arena, there will only be the victorious.
They have a chance to
and the
surpass Tails. The LMBS is gone. Final Fantasy 16, what little they showed of it, I might play that. Star Ocean, they haven't really shown anything of, so I'm hoping they show some of that. Like, a decent glimpse at the gameplay, not just a bunch of cutscenes. Shots of the canyon. That's what I'm hoping for, anyway. This looks really cool.
The world is watching.
I'm terrible at shooting, but the game looks cool. That looks pretty sick.
Sometimes I wonder if things will ever be normal again.
Got some Weeb games here. Man, this looks kind of cool. What is this? It's Weeb adjacent. Obvious Weeb game. Whoa! Yo, this looks pretty cool. What is this?
The world hasn't ended yet.
The Weeb adjacent video game.
I won't let anyone else get hurt. in your corner? Oh, ew. I'm going to miss them.
Never mind. It's got all the Persona shit. I'll pass. I'm not sitting through all that. It's like 18 minutes into this, they put a very weeby game, like, right in the middle.
Action games and dating sims collide in
Yeah, you lost me at dating sim.
And PS4 next year. Let's check back in with Capcom for a new look at an upcoming heavy hitter.
Basara. I need to get my summoning circle out. Oh, this game. This game actually looks kind of cool. What is this called? Exoprimal? Something like that. I might actually like this game. Oh, it's a Street Fighter. Never mind. I thought it was that Exoprimal game. Are you actually going to show gameplay or more cutscenes? Show the actual game.
Hope you're ready to begin.
Like, you've already done this before.
Start off on the right foot in this city. Hit the streets. Yeah, hey, there I do this. Never feel loose. And when I get up in the game,
it's not looking good for them showing gameplay. Like, dude, no one cares about this. It's a fighting game. What the hell? What is this? No gameplay. Gotta focus on his toenails again.
Let me have some fun.
Ready? Then show me.
Show the actual game. Oh wow, actual gameplay. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I eat my words. Actually showed the game. I feel like fighting games, least effective marketing is when you just show a bunch of cutscenes. Like, it's a fighting game. There's nothing but gameplay. You know, it worked for like Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know, that game is a really high focus on story. Like, when they introduce a fighting game and it's like 90% cutscenes. It's like, you know, no one cares, right? It's pure, undistilled gameplay. Like, just show the game. It's still coming out on PS4. That's hilarious. Wow. Well, luckily, graphics don't really matter in a fighting game.
First look at Street Fighter 6 gameplay. Mark your calendars. It comes to PS5 and PS4 in 2023.
That's pretty hilarious.
Now it's time for 2 indie adventures.
Oh, at least they showed.
This year.
They actually showed some of the game. There's no HUD or anything, but. Yeah, I think that kind of marketing bothers me the most when it's like a fighting game, because fighting games are like nothing but gameplay. Like, the story is going to be incomprehensible, and there's going going to be barely any of it. It's not going to make much sense. Like, you're really just playing that for the gameplay and nothing else. So, focusing on Ryu's toenails for so long is like a really weird flex. Final Fantasy game, sure, yeah. Focus on the story. That's like a big part of it. That game is not just gameplay.
She set out to record life at the end of this season. To make it real for people in the future. She asked us about living together.
And we asked her about traveling alone.
When the season turns, what will remain?
Only what she saw. What she captured.
She carries the sounds of the season with her. The way she listened made you want to tell her everything.
Well, the one thing I'll say about the Sonic game is that it looks to solve the biggest problem with open world games. Is traversing super slow, having the stamina of like an obese smoker, which just pads out the game. No, I think the concept of having an open world game with a character that's known for getting around fast is actually pretty cool. It looked really jank, but I think the concept of that is pretty awesome, because that's like one of the things people hate the most about Breath of the Wild, is you can sprint for like 5 seconds before you get tired. The game is massive. Oh, here we go.
長らくお待たせいたしましたが、いよいよファイナルファンタジー16の最新情報をお届けする日がやってまいりました。最新のトレーラーとともにインタビューなども始まりますので、ぜひそちらも楽しみにお待ちください。今世界には本当に様々な困難があります。僕らゲーム開発者にはゲームを一生懸命作るということしかできません。ゲームというエンターテインメントを通じてゲーマーの皆さんが心の底から楽しめる時間を提供していきたいと思ってます。それでは最新のトレーラーをどうぞ。
Who are we? What are the dominants? The power we wield, it wears away at our very being. It breaks us. It unmakes us. That its immaculate aspect might reveal itself. The icon.
Yeah. I don't know, man. PS5's got like no heavy hitters right now. You can't play on PS4, so.
Delay brings us closer to disaster. We must.
What the hell is this interface? Yo, this looks legit. What is this? That looks pretty cool. Yo! What the hell, man? It's already better than. It looks better than Tales of Arise.
And found a new order to see us unto tomorrow. If I take the field, our duels shake the island to its foundations. There will be losses, it is true. Yet for every citizen who falls, another can be bred. For every home that burns, another can be built. The Empire will live on,
I will say the setting of this game looks really boring. The last couple Final Fantasy games have had much more interesting settings. This just looks like more generic medieval stuff. But I'll give it a pass because the combat looks pretty cool.
Awaken, child of fate. Awaken, Ifrit.
That was a pretty good trailer. Like, they had, like, world building and story stuff in there, but they showed a decent amount of gameplay.
And that's a wrap. Don't forget to visit PlayStation Blog to learn even more about
I call that a good trailer.
See you next time.
It's like with a game like that, you do need to talk about the story, but they actually did show... They showed enough of, you know, the actual gameplay. Well... I definitely want to learn more about that game. I definitely think, the ball is in their court. Tails sucks hard right now, so... It could definitely turn things over. But, it's hard to tell. There wasn't really a whole lot in there. At least they showed the game. That's more than I was expecting. So normally it's like, let's just show you a bunch of edited cutscenes. You're supposed to get excited for it. But no, they came out with some gameplay. That's pretty cool. I could have told you it's not going to be the remake, second part of the remake. Because they know if they announce that no one's going to care about 16. The hype level between 16 and the 7 remake part 2 is like really unbalanced in the remake's favor. They know they need to put that game out first, pretty much. Because they know if they put the remake out first, then no one's going to care about 16. So, I think the fact that the guy said that they were ramping up marketing for it and stuff, like, that game is going to come first. So it's like a new installment, and it looks like a pretty big departure from the other Final Fantasy games, or it looks like it has character action gameplay. So, a lot of people aren't going to like it. But Final Fantasy has always tried to... They've at least tried to change things up multiple times. They've done turn-based, of course. They've done real-time strategy. They've done tab target, both in Final Fantasy 11, 12, and 14. They did the weird, like, pseudo turn-based real-time thing in the 13 games, and then they did the jank, very boring combat system in 15. Like, they've tried to not just put out the same game over and over, which is nice, but they don't stick with anything for far too long. It's mostly they like to mix it up. But yeah, if they announced the remake now, then no one would care about 16. It would only be people like me that aren't Final Fantasy fans that would care about 16. And I would only just be playing it because it's a character action game with big production values. I have no nostalgia or anything for Final Fantasy at all. I imagine as soon as that game comes out and they put out like DLC for it or whatever, they'll probably announce something about the remake and be like, "Hey, we've been working on this for a while. Here's a trailer like that one we just watched, where they show you a little bit of how the plot is going to go, the foundation for it, but then they show some gameplay as well with the HUD so that you can speculate about what's changed." That was a legit good trailer. I don't know if I'll actually play that game, but I'm shocked at how high quality that was. The Street Fighter trailer, on the other hand, was better than the first one, but that's not saying much. At least they showed some gameplay. Like, I don't know. It's harder to get away with that kind of marketing with a fighting game. Like, it's just not feasible. It's like, most people don't care about the story. Really, the only fighting games that have like comprehensible stories is pretty much King of Fighters and Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat probably has the most coherent story. The King of Fighters suffers from the fact that it used to be in really bad English, just really terribly translated. Like they've always had a coherent plot for King of Fighters, but until they got off the Neo Geo, the translation was horrendous. So you still had to like go on a wiki or watch a video. Street Fighter has always been incomprehensible. It makes no sense. No, focusing that much on the other stuff is really weird. I think anyone expecting the remake was just setting themselves up for disappointment. You gotta understand how marketing works. They're gonna promote the thing that less people want before they promote the thing that everybody wants. Because they're dumping a lot of money into both. And they still gotta sell you the product that not everybody wants. Not everybody wants 16. Because it looks like DMC with the Final Fantasy skin, which is like great for people like me, but people that want more grounded traditional Final Fantasy aren't gonna like it. So they gotta get all the marketing out for that first before they do anything else. I'm disappointed they didn't have any Star Ocean, because I'm interested in that game too. Star Ocean 5 and 4 sucked, but I feel like maybe this time they can get it right. And like Tails isn't the king anymore. Arise is garbage. Arise is playable with mods. It's actually not a bad game with mods. Gameplay wise, at least, it's playable, but it's not really a Tails game, and it's not good without the mods. So Star Ocean can deliver. Star Ocean Final Fantasy can deliver, and I might like maybe get them to backpedal on what they're trying to do with Tails, which is not make it Tails anymore. Problem with Tails has always been a lack of competition. Star Ocean is about as old as Tails, pretty much. They're about the same age, but there's a lot less Star Ocean games, and Star Ocean pretty much peaked at 3. Everything else they put out since has been way worse. Like they've tried to compete with Tails, but they don't have the release volume, and they don't have a good combat system. I feel like the ball is in Square Enix and Tri-Ace's court right now for like real-time JRPGs. Tales of Arise is just like not really a great game, no matter how you slice it. It's not terrible. It's not like it was playable to get to the end. It was a real struggle for me. I hated the end of the game, but it was still playable. There's worse games than that for sure, but if they're gonna keep churning out games like that, I might have to check out from Tales for good, or just keep playing the old ones. So I'm actually glad to see that there's some competition. The thing about Tales is no one else has even been trying to make something that's like a legitimate competitor. Final Fantasy 15 is not. The last 2 Star Ocean games are not. Ys is a good JRPG with action combat, but it's a really far departure from Tales gameplay. There's Star Wars news coming in late June. Oh, I did not know that. I hadn't heard about that. That's kind of cool, I guess. Hopefully they don't come back with a bunch of cutscenes. Something like that Final Fantasy 16 trailer, which had a good balance of like, okay, here's what the game's about if you care. Give you a little bit of foundation of the plot and show you some of the characters and stuff, but then like still show gameplay. That was a good trailer. As somebody who's not really, I don't really play games for the story. I'm a well-known cutscene skipper. That was a legit good trailer. Good balance. I think a bad trailer would be the first one they did for Street Fighter 6, which had no gameplay. That Street Fighter 6 trailer was decent, but I don't know. It focused a little bit too much on stuff that wasn't the gameplay. Alright, let's go ahead and check out Soldiers, and I'm gonna go ahead and rest, because I have Kitty sitting tonight. Thank you for letting me use the D-pad. I hate when I have to play games like this with the analog stick. Major buzzkill. Hold on a minute. Frame rate is really weird. It's locked at 70 FPS for some reason. I must say, regardless of how this game turns out, it's really awesome that I could get to the options right away. That is one of my biggest pet peeves with new games. Like, dude, let me get into the options. Go ahead and have your narrative focus, that's fine. But let me get into the options right away. Don't withhold me from the options. I played that Dynasty Legends 2 game and it took like 15 minutes to get to the options, and then the game doesn't even have 60 FPS features, so I uninstalled it. I'm like, don't do that. Don't waste my time. I heard the Switch port of this is really bad. 30 FPS and like 30-second long load times. It's a bummer. I would have bought this on the Switch, but luckily I did my research. Bunch of generic officers here. I like how you seem to be a just a generic officer. I skipped the cutscenes, but it's kind of interesting. Maybe they're not going for the classic chosen one angle. I'm sure you become that at the end, of course, with what they were saying. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and take a nap. I got Kitty sitting tonight. We'll play some Dynasty Warriors and what's it called? Diablo Immortal tonight. So if that's your thing, I'll be doing that tonight. If not, I bought Soldiers and I bought Have a Nice Death. Those are two games I was really interested in. Battle for the Grid also got an update today as well. So we'll probably play some of that tonight too. I quit KOF All-Star. I think PGR, they're supposed to be, no one's supposed to be available today, so I might check that out as well. But for now, I'm going to take a nap. I should be back in about, I'd say, 3 hours. 3.5 hours. We'll do a kitty sitting stream, play some service games. See ya.